Hi everyone. Every time I have to make one of these videos, a small piece of me dies inside because it just means that we're still living through this nightmare for yet another day. And the fact that I not only feel the need, but feel obligated to create videos to dumb things down for people in order for you to see us Palestinians as human beings is truly scarring me, but that's an expense that I'm willing to take to reverse even just one of your perceptions of us that you've been systemically taught in this Western world most of your lives. And I honestly feel like I don't know what else I can do to get the world to understand what our Western governments are doing to my people. But I'm going to take a break this time from all the hypotheticals, metaphors, and comparisons that I typically do. And I'm going to assume that I'm speaking to semi-educated adults here. But in reality, what I'm about to tell you, a second grader would be able to hear and then on his or her very own be able to deduce that this is beyond up and just simply wrong. They probably wouldn't use those terms exactly, but you get the gist. So let me try and get this all off in one fluid thought. Just in the past week, Israel was taken to the International Court of Justice by South Africa, where they were charged with genocide with an overwhelming amount of evidence to back it up. While Israel took the stand and lied incessantly with the anticipated sprinkling of fake baby deaths, unsubstantiated rapes, and what about Hamasisms. In the meantime, while they were literally being tried in court, Israel continued their genocide, killing hundreds per day, while continuing to post TikTok videos mocking Palestinians they've killed or displaced by either smoking cigarettes with walkaway montages as they bombed residential buildings, or playing with children's toys in their empty bedrooms, or cooking, aka culturally appropriating pathetic attempts at Palestinian dishes with Palestinian families' cookware in their empty kitchens, or stealing money from their personal family safes to distribute amongst themselves. Yes, they videotape themselves doing all of this, and then have the audacity and shamelessness to post it all over for the world to see. The death toll count is now above 30,000, with an average of 100 children per day being killed, with 60% of the total deaths being women and children. Israel has just claimed that they have killed 9,000 Hamas members. If you do the simple math of all Palestinian deaths and remove all women and children, what number are you left with for the men? You guessed it, 9,000. So Israel is openly admitting that all Palestinian men in Gaza are Hamas. I'll leave that up to you to decide how f***ed up that is. All the while, we now have children that are literally dying of starvation. And just a couple days ago, civilians were told to go to a specific location to obtain food and aid, only to get shot at by the Israeli forces, killing several, which is all in a ploy to systemically and strategically continue to starve the entire population through fear. We also just witnessed a father who is a doctor amputating his own daughter's leg in their family house without anesthesia because his house was surrounded by Israeli tanks and forces, and he knew for certain if anyone from his family stepped out to even go to a hospital to get medical care, they would be immediately killed. And in the meantime, you have Netanyahu's government officials calling for blatant genocide and ethnic cleansing on live TV. You also have Israelis in Israel peacefully protesting for a ceasefire, to then be met with violent Israeli forces that beat them and shoot at them for protesting. And the kicker is that the families of the Israeli hostages, those who have returned and those who are still held captive, were just protesting for a ceasefire as well. And Netanyahu is also facing lawsuits from Israeli families around the occurrences of October 7th, where it has been confirmed that Israeli forces killed a significant portion of their own civilians, in which the death toll still stands at 695, with no updates whatsoever since October 7th on any mass casualties from this war they're apparently in. And just last night, Israel went on a bombing onslaught at the last remaining functioning hospital in Gaza, Al-Nasser Hospital, which is in the south where Palestinians were forced to seek refuge and shelter. Many were killed as a result. And while they were bombing the hospital, Israeli troops excavated and razed cemeteries and stole bodies, which has become common practice for them. You may be asking, why do they steal buried bodies? I want you to use your critical thinking skills here. Who has constantly made up stories about their death toll count, as well as beheaded and burned bodies that are unrecognizable? Who is in dire need of physical evidence to showcase to the world in an attempt to save their failing narrative? Do I have to answer this for you? And then back at the U.S., while knowing all of this, the U.S. Senate just blocked a measure brought about by Senator Bernie Sanders to monitor whether its billions in aid to Israel are used to violate human rights. They voted to block that. Do you understand what that means? Blocking a measure that puts checks and balances on the funding it is supplying to a foreign government is a blatant means to hide the crimes that they are committing. It is not only hiding Israel's crimes, but the crimes the U.S. is committing as well. And at this point, the U.S. isn't just complicit in a genocide. The U.S. is the driving force behind this genocide. Hence why the South Africa legal team is pulling a case together against the U.S. government. And to top it all off, given everything I just mentioned that has happened within just this past week, we have the governor of our very own New Jersey, Phil, aka Phil of Shit Murphy, and the president of our very own United States, Genocide Joe, issuing the most spineless, insensitive, dismissive, offensive, and overtly racist statements I have ever come across by an elected official. In less words, they both said that they feel horrible that for 100 days, innocent Americans and Israelis are being held hostage by Hamas. That's it. Not a single mention of Palestinians, like at all. They felt the need to disclose to the general public that they value the lives of Israelis and Americans, whom are alive, over the 30,000 plus Palestinian deaths, the 13,000 plus children that were killed. Not one word about Palestinians. In fact, it's not even a matter on if they value Palestinian life at this point anymore. It's that they don't even acknowledge that they exist. If there isn't a more clear admission of blatant racism, bigotry, and dehumanization at the highest level, then I don't know what is anymore. I'm telling you right now, to your faces, the level of anger that we are all feeling as Palestinians is at its highest, especially when we get deemed as non-existent while we witness our people getting erased from this earth in front of our very own eyes. But I'm also here to tell you that we not only exist, we are the majority. In every corner of the world, we are the majority. Because I personally know Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Native Americans, Brazilians, South Koreans, Chinese, Hondurans, Mexicans, Aussies, South Africans, Irish, and yes, even the Brits, Germans, and Canadians, and French, whom are vehemently against their corrupt, racist, colonialist governments. And last but certainly not least, many of the Jewish faith that would stand side by side with me and collectively say, we are Palestinians. So to all you politicians out there, just know that your dismissiveness of our existence and your incessant dehumanization just digs that hole of your political grave further and further down. And we personally cannot wait to witness you take that long, long fall down that hole you've dug for yourselves come election day. Please don't stop talking about Palestine. Every single second counts. Peace and love.